Had to see if I could fix my Wi-Fi, so about to try this all over again. About to jump on my live, but I'm gonna let Instagram do what they gotta do to set up the meeting. So sit back, enjoy. Let anybody know that want to tune in along with you and watch this dope conversation. Please share the word. All right, Kim, I see you. Let's get it going. Just sent you an invite, so whenever you're ready, let's get the conversation going. Requests, let's go. It should allow you to come in now, Kim. I accepted the request. I see you. I sent you well, you sent me a request. I accepted it, but I also sent you an invite. So I think you just need to click the icon and then it should allow you to come in. Let me know if you don't see it. There you go.
Okay, there I am.
There you
Technical difficulties over here.
go. How you doing? How you doing this afternoon or evening
Good.
now? um, if you have a cloth, wipe your front screen a little bit.
Okay, let me see. Life is blurry over here. I'm gonna just put it on top of these books because I can't be doing this. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Hello?
Whenever you situated comfortable, let me know.
Okay. All right.
So how you doing
I
today?
hate that it's wording in here. Shani, give me that table right there. Give me 2 seconds. Get it together, get better.
Take your time. I want you as comfortable as possible.
Let's stop it from sliding. Okay. Figured it out. All right. Mhm.
I see you have a lot of fans today, charming in and telling you hello and sending out hearts. So I can tell you very loved by a lot of people.
Bless you. Bless you.
Let me know if you can hear me
What's going
clearly, if
on?
you
Good
can see
afternoon.
me.
Ah, come on now, everybody. Get it. Can't get it. Can't get it. All right.
All right. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me clearly, if you can see me. If it glitches and you didn't get the chance to hear what I said, ask me to repeat it for you, and I will do.
Man, too bad. You don't have no speaker, huh? Because I could barely hear him. I'll figure it out. Come on, bro. Let's go.
Let me know. Can you hear me? Am I
I,
speaking loud enough?
I can hear you. It's just low on my side because it's just coming from my phone. So, but I
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay. If you have earpieces, you can put those in. It should still connect very well.
Uh, I don't know where they at.
Okay.
Let's just go.
All right. Well, I just want to say I appreciate you. I really thank you for joining my platform. I'm more excited than you probably are to be on here. This is something that I would never have projected in the time that I decided to create this platform, that I would be speaking with someone like yourself that has accomplished so much in this industry and has so much to share and so much wisdom. Um, I just want to say you deserve your flowers. You're an amazing person. I got a chance to be around you, and I love your presence. I love your spirit, and I just know from what I have heard over the time of just the short span of me being around you, I know you have touched a lot of people that, which I can see on here from the people that's tuning in and saying they can't wait to work with you, that they been touched somehow by you, even if it's a short time span. But I want to know where all this started. What made you be the person that you are today as an icon in this industry? Like, how did this all start? Was your mom? Was your father in the industry, and it just trickled down on you? Like, what was your first love before this?
I was just a super student. I went to school. I graduated top 10% of my class. I did everything mama said do. Go to school. Don't bring her no babies. Bring her home that diploma.
Yeah.
I did just that. Uh, After I graduated high school, I told my mom what the kids are now calling a gap year. I said, I'm going to take me a year off school so I can find myself.
Right.
And I have five brothers, right? So I'm the baby of the bunch. And everybody, she said, okay, that's fine. So everybody's around the house chilling, doing what they all finding themselves. And I said, okay, this gonna be great. We're gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna take a year off and just clear my head up and get myself together before I go out into this world. So mom comes into the room about 2 months into that. She says, "What you getting ready to do?" I said, "What you talking about?" She said, "What you getting ready to do?" She said, "You gonna go to school, you gonna get a job, or you gonna get out of my house?" She said, "Cause ain't but one queen live here." I said, "Well, wait a minute." I said, "You said I could take a year off." She said, "Did you hear what I said, Kim?" I said, "Oh my God." So I went stomping down the street, walking up Crenshaw Boulevard. Everybody know Crenshaw is the hangout spot in California. So I'm walking up Crenshaw Boulevard and I see Pacific Beauty College and I walk in. And so he's showing me the school, taking me on an interview, around the place, showing me a tour. And he says, okay, sign right here. I said, wait now, wait. I ain't said I was signing up. He said, yeah, sign right here. He said, school starts tomorrow at 8 a.m. Here's a smock. He said, don't come to school with your smock dirty. Don't come to school with your shoes dirty. Uh-oh, did it glitch? Can you hear me?
You got keep going.
Okay. He said, did you hear what I said? I said, yes. So I'm like, oh my goodness. I came home and I threw the contract on my mom's bed and I said, I hope you happy. And he said, I hope you happy. My mama said, I hope you happy. And she closed her door. I was like, well, that wasn't the response I was trying to get. I'm like, okay. So next thing I know, I'm going to beauty school. So this in the middle of summer. All my friends going to Disneyland, Magic Mountain, hanging out, doing stuff. I'm like, they're like, come on, Kim. I'm like, no, I got to go to school. They're like, what? I said, yeah, this man said, if you miss one day, don't come back for 30. So what turned out to be a year-long course, I wound up graduating in 9 months. Like, I wasn't playing with him. So, yeah, 6 months into the program, we do a statewide competition. 200 students from all over California come together to do this hair competition. Little did we know, or we didn't read the fine print, that this was a head-to-toe competition. So one of my good girlfriends, Marna, she hair down her back, and we had just left prom, so her mom had bought her like 8 prom dresses. So she said, we do her hair, and I'm in school, and I'm telling the teacher. The teacher kept coming by my desk. Why are you here? I said, because my mother making me come. She said, oh, really? I said, yep. I said, so I'm just going to get through these months and get it over with so I ain't got to hear her mouth. She said, I'm going to turn you into a hairstylist before you get out of here. I said, yeah, okay, whatever. And so she walks away. So now 6 months in, we do the competition. I cut my friend's hair all off just like this. Anita Baker was hot back then, 87. I told her, I was like, she's like, Kim, do whatever you got to do. So I wind up trying to get, this specific little design. And it wasn't working. I turned her hair green. I turned her hair orange. I kept running back to Miss Cooper. Can you help me? Can you help me? She said, no, go back to your book. I said, wait a minute, but you helping everybody in the school. And she said, no, Kim, go back to your book. I said, oh my God. So I go back and I'm reading how you correct this color, how you do this, how you do that. So I was like, okay, I think I got it. We show up the day of the competition. All these kids show up. Out of top 10, number 3, number 2, number 1, Kim Berry. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, oh, snap. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So we come back day 2. Top 10 is now competing. So we come back, get down again. So first I did her hair to the back. This time I did her hair to the front. I just made it all wild, right? And get to the end of the competition. Number 1, Kim Berry. I said, wait a minute. My teacher walks over to me. She said, Didn't I tell you I was going to turn you into a hairstylist? I said, oh, whatever, Miss Cooper. And then, but it just brought the realization, like, maybe I really can do this. I was like, okay. And became an assistant. And 2 years later, I walked into Prince's camp. To God be the glory. I call that the holy hookup.
No, man, that's amazing to know that, you know. So what was it that you really want to do? I mean, besides being someone that was like really into your books and about your education, was it something else before? Like, because this seemed like you said, but like this was kind of like you was pushed into it because you needed something to do during the summer. But what was it actually something that you really had your mind set on? And then once you got into the hair industry, it
Oh,
kind of did it fade away or did
originally,
yeah.
yeah, I thought I was going to be a doctor. So, and then I went a couple courses at Martin Luther King Hospital and saw all the blood and the guts and nah, I'm good. That's why I told my mom, let me take a couple months off. I was like, that ain't what I want to do. So I was like, let me see. I got to find myself and see what else is possible for me. And she agreed to it. And then she turned her back on me. But I said, hey, I said, when I think about my life, I think about Akilah and the Bee. And same thing, she said that everybody you come in contact with is your teacher. So little did I know that all these people were leading me towards my destiny. I had no idea. As hard as they were being on me, they were actually being a part and teachers and pushing me into my destiny. Because yeah, I wasn't thinking about hair. That was the furthest thing from my mind. And so it was interesting that I wound up getting led down that path and literally walked me into the door of one of the greatest entertainers in the world.
Wow. So before we even touch on that, as much I want to just dive into that right now, I want to talk
Okay.
about you and your journey before all that took place. So going to school, being looked at as one of the highly, very highly out, probably one of the students that was going to come out and really make a mark from within this industry of hair. Did you work at any salons first before the next journey
You
took?
said, did I?
Come on, come on. I'm sorry, 'cause it's freezing on my end, so I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So before the next steps that you took in your career, did you work at any salons first? Did you build your stable
Oh,
and
yeah. I went and worked at a few salons. My nephew's mom had a salon called Press and Curl here in LA, and I went and worked at her salon as an assistant. I worked at a few different salons, matter of fact, assisting, and it was a beautiful experience, and I was making a lot of money. The great part about it is I, as an assistant, was so diligent. My teacher used to tell me quality and then quantity, but never sacrifice one for the other. So he built my speed up in beauty school. He taught me how to, I could do a head in less than an hour. Shampoo, blow dry, condition. He would always come to my table with 6 towels, and he'd say, when I come back in an hour, I need everybody out of the waiting area and into the chairs. And I said, wait a minute. I said, you ain't doing nobody else like that. He said, did you hear what I said, Barry? I was like, oh my God. I was like, this dude is so hard. This dude's so tough on me. I said, but he built my speed up. And so it was amazing because now to this day, I'm still one of the fastest hairstylists. When I owned my own salon, same thing. My clients were getting in and out, in and out, in and out. And people that were still sitting in the dryer were like, wait a minute, that lady just walked in there. Wait a minute, that lady just, and I never lost my speed. And matter of fact, I work faster with it by myself than I do with an assistant. So I have to really train my assistant to let them know I don't play no games, don't hold my time up. My clients get in and out, and so that was the beautiful thing to me. And because now in film and television, same thing. They come in, they'll tell you, we need this person in 5 minutes, and that's what they mean. So you got to have that person cut, color, curled, whatever that is, and get them out the door in a record time. So it all worked out in my favor.
I like that you spoke on that, having people in your life that wanted to not like push you away from this industry, but also help you elevate in a way that you felt like, oh man, why are you so hard on me? But they were still structuring you to understand like it's gonna be so many different obstacles, or you're gonna be placed in a situation where you feel like it's a lot of pressure on you, but you can find your way out of it. One of my questions I wanted to ask you, was it ever an if moment? Like, did you ever have a moment where you was like, man, this is really too much? It's like everybody is like on me, like from my instructors to the people I'm working with. They don't really like let me relax my shoulders. They're on me. They pushing me too hard. Do I really want this the way that they want it from me? Was it ever a moment like that? I'm sorry. Did you hear me?
Know what?
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't, once I started doing it and I realized I was good at it, when I got in the salon, even as an assistant, I was making more money than the slowest hairstylist. Like I was getting bread. So I was like, nah, I got this. I'm doing this. So it helped me build my confidence. It helped me, get stronger in my styling. As I watched other stylists, I learned different techniques. I'm very visual when it comes to learning. So I used to stand next to the bombest hairstylist or the fastest hairstylist, whoever it was that was doing their thing in the salon. I would stand next to them and watch and just pick up techniques. And you're always going to take that technique and use it as your own and then put a little extra sauce on it, when you get it into your chair. So it's always amazing to grow and to keep learning. I'm like a sponge and I just keep soaking up information. And so everybody, like I said, everybody that you come in contact with is a teacher. So it allowed them to be a blessing into my life.
They don't want us to be great today, but we're gonna power through this and keep going. But let's say that last part for me. I know a lot of people heard the first part.
I was just saying that it allowed me, looking at the fastest stylist and the strongest stylist as far as styling and cutting hair, it allowed me, they were a blessing to my life. That little did they know that they allowed me to become faster and stronger. And they were the blessing to my life that pushed me, like I said, into greatness. So when I was able to get my own chair, I was a dynamic stylist from gate.
Amazing. I love it. So you're born and raised in California? Like you was always here?
Yeah, born and raised. My mom is Tennessee. So everybody think I'm from the country because I've been hearing that twang all my life. But yeah, no, born and raised in California.
Man, so you see, seen it all, especially in California. And was you able to, manifest what you really wanted, keep away from, a lot of some things that maybe wasn't as positive, especially friends, that, you had a goal, you had an ambition, but, sometimes you can have people in your life that maybe want to push you in a different direction. Or if they hear you that you're doing something and they be like, that's cool. But, sometimes you could take that like, maybe it ain't as important as I think it is, because you're allowing them to influence your journey and your growth. How was you able to, maneuver from all that and just keep moving forward?
That lady you see on the wall behind me, she didn't play. She didn't play. So not only for the boys, to keep them out of trouble, gang banging, drug dealing, doing the craziness on the street, she just said that she wasn't going to lose not one of her children to the streets. Hard on me. I told her, funny story. I said, she was so hard on me growing up. I said, oh, she's so strict. She's so mean. I love my mother, but I didn't like mean to me. But once I got grown, I came back and told my mom, thank you. I have friends that died. I have friends that, left here on drugs and alcohol binges. And we made it out. It was a blessing. And it allowed me now as a mom to see that she was my advisor to keep me on the road to the straight and narrow, and to God be all the glory. And I thanked her for that once I got grown and realized that if it wasn't for her strength and her guidance, I would have been, a product of my environment. But my mother was like, absolutely not my child, not one of them.
100%. I hear you on that. Don't want to take away from you, but I feel what you're saying. I have, a strong, powerful, outspoken woman in my life, and she definitely did the same for me growing up. Like, she knew the environment, she grew up in the environment, but she made sure that I wasn't going to be a part of that environment. So I understand what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I want to tackle on some other things as well. Like when you was from school, I think you touched on it, doing competition and stuff like that. But also when you got into the salon, did you compete a lot? Was that something that
Yeah, every year
you aimed for?
I was running to Atlanta every year, so that was a must to keep my brag game strong. Not only, and then to also just keep keep my strength up. So if I was standing next to somebody else, like I said, I'm a visual learner, so I can copy exactly what you're doing and make it my own to make my technique better. So it was always a thing for me to be in competitions or either going to different haircutting and styling classes to keep my game strong, because a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if I was weak in coloring, I'm going to hair coloring classes. If I'm I'm feeling like my barber game ain't tight enough, then I'm finna go sit next to some barbers. So I had to be among the best of them to make sure that I had it right, and because I add up in the long run.
That's dope. That's dope. What was one competition that you felt like you really you knew you got, I feel like you got that confidence and you went in there, but it was like one person that you was going against, you was like, oh, I'm gonna have to really give it to her because she or he, like what year was that? What competition it was, and what was the style that you said, okay, I was gonna go with this, but now I gotta hit you with this.
Right. Well, I have to roll it back to beauty school because God bless her, but it was one of my homegirls. Now she's a friend of mine. Her name is Candida Farmer. She was like the Lex Luthor to my Superman, if you understand that part. So when I came in school, she was, had a little clique. Every school got a clique. So she had a little group of friends, but when I came in, it was something about her and me, and she was like, oh, she can't do no hair. Oh, she can't do this. She can't do that. So when I tell you that it was 200 kids in the literal competition, and I took top 10 and she didn't place, then I knew I was the shit. I said, oh, girl is bad. When I tell you, she's worked on Sierra, Brandy, she done had some hair, got her own wig line. She's the bomb. Now, I ain't taking nothing from her, but the fact that I beat her in that competition, that made my life. Do you hear me? Because I beat her. I said, okay, I ain't gonna call it a school bully, but it was a little something. You understand me? But when I knocked her down, I said, oh, that brought her down a peg. I said, okay, now they gonna give Kim Berry her respect because Kim done shut them down.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that story. Yeah, let's dig into it. So, doing all the amazing things you have done, from school to working in the shop, sharpening your blades, your tools, to now work on the god of, to me, almost the god of music, that played every instrument, that knew his tone, that knew how he wanted to write every song. Like, how did you get connected to Prince, and what was that journey like to be the one that was creating all his amazing looks?
Um, I really call that the holy hookup. I remember watching Prince on video and I saw him doing Kiss. And I was like, look at that little man, I said, that is interesting. Like, why he ain't got no clothes on? Like, what? I was like, what? All his videos, like he was naked. And so I was like, okay, so he's a sex symbol, but I never was a fan.
Yeah.
And so one of the that I dated was Big Coco, bodyguard, worked for everybody. Shy, Troop, you name it, he was the bodyguard for everybody. He wound up getting a job working for Prince. So he was his body. I was saying, get me on, like, get me in, get me on, get me on. And he was like, no, you don't want to do this. This ain't, this long hours, this, that, and the other. Plus, I think, he just didn't want me watching him. And, because what happens on the road, stay on the road, right? And so I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So where he messed up is he wound up introducing me to the hairstylist. So when he introduced me to the hairstylist, now me and Tanya became friends, right? So every time they would come to LA, she'd be like, Kim, come hang out with us. We finna go to this party. Kim, come hang out with me. Now, mind you, I'm 19, hanging with grown folks. So I'm like, okay, come on. But as long as I dress up, nobody knew. So she said, yeah, Kim, come hang out. So if she was doing a video, I would be on the set with her, on the video. So I'd be in the wardrobe room, hanging up clothes, ringing out stuff, doing stuff. I just wanted to be down. I was like, let me be a part of production, whatever. Let me do anything. So just hanging around her. So I'm looking at her table, and I was like, wow, she used that hairspray. She used that curling iron. She's that. So my dad used to tell us all the time. He said, success is when opportunity meets preparedness. He said, when the opportunity presents itself, will you be prepared? So little did I know, every time I went around her, I was buying something off her table. So I bought that hairspray. I bought those particular scissors. I bought that particular spray shine. I bought a brush. I did her whole table.
Mm-hmm.
I said, never thinking that I would ever have the opportunity to do Prince's hair. But I was like, if she a celebrity hairstylist, I want to be one too. Let me get it together. And so I got myself together. I got my table together. I said, okay. I said, I'm ready. One day we just lollygagging in the trailer, and she's like, I think I'm going to quit. I said, what? She said, I think I'm going to quit. I said, what you mean you're going to quit? She said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to travel. I don't want to live out of a suitcase. I want to go home and get married and just live a simple life. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, girl, you got the best job in the world. She said, no, it's not what you think. And I said, I think you have the best job in the world. But that's from somebody on the outside looking in. You ain't lived her life, you know what I mean? And so I was like, okay. And so my mom used to tell us all the time from the Bible, it says, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Be careful what you speak. So that day, she went into the room with Prince, and she was curling his hair, and she went to comb it. He snatched the comb out of her hand. She said, you know what? She said, my mouth is chapped from kissing your little black ass. I'm out of here. And he was like, what? And she said, I'm out of here. So, Prince used to quit. You quit, Prince quit you. You don't quit Prince. So Tanya packed her stuff up and left. So he went back on stage, did his thing. He came back. Tanya was gone. So he said, yeah, they leaving to go to Germany the next day. And he said, tell Tanya get the salon ready. And they's like, nah, Tanya quit. He said, what you mean Tanya quit? Because he traveled all over the world with his hairstylist and his bodyguard. And they said, yeah, man, Tanya quit. She got on the plane and went back to Minnesota. And they was like, he said, so you got me out here with no hairstylist? And they was like, yeah. So, everybody's scared. So they get on the plane. They go to Germany. They hire somebody. Prince hated him. He wound up doing his own hair that night for the show. They come back. The bodyguard called me. So in the meantime, in between time, I had been doing photo shoots, anything I could do, runway shows, anywhere I was out doing hair, So I had been building my portfolio little by little, stacking pictures, getting my book, that was one of the things that people along the way had told me, get your portfolio right, make sure you got your strongest work in your portfolio. So I had been stacking my portfolio, getting ready for whenever the day came. I knew that one day I wanted to have an agent. I said, I was like, let me get this book right. So I was preparing myself every week. We do photo shoots. I get my homeboy who I knew was photographer. I had friends that were models. I had friends that were makeup artists, and we all got in and got down for the shot. So the book was being built. So God was literally preparing me for the time. So when when Coco called and said, look, I called my homeboy at this club. He gonna let you in. Meet us there at 11 o'clock. I said, okay, great. So I knew. Get dressed up. I'm dressed to the nines. I'm going in the club. His homeboy hit me with the head nod. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Get in the club. I got my portfolio. I walk over to the table like, my name is Kim Berry. I said, I do hair. Give me the opportunity to do your hair. I know you don't have a hairstylist. He looked at me. He was like, who is this? Like, what's going on, right? So I said, he looking through the book, nonchalant. He said, you do hair? I said, yeah. He said, you got a salon? I said, yeah. He said, go set it up. Let them know where it is, right? And I said, okay, cool. So I let the bodyguards know where the salon was. I run back to the salon. I'm blacking out the windows. I knew how to do everything Steve used to do. I was watching her. I was on her. So I said, little did I learn years later that Prince had OCD. So everything needs to be in the same place every time. I literally duplicated the same exact way that she had her table. I knew exactly how to put it down. So got everything ready. He had all his same products, everything that he already used. So he walked, it would have been him walking into familiarity. So he's called on the phone. Hey, Kim, yeah, this is Prince. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. I said, oh. I said, okay. I said, well, no problem. Next time you come to LA, just know you got a hairstylist. He said, do you travel? I said, yeah, I'm 19 years old. I ain't been out of Inglewood, let alone California. He said, yeah, the flight leaves in an hour. We send in a limo to come pick you up. I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, is there a problem? I said, no, sir, ain't no problem. He said, okay, I'll see you on the plane. I said, okay. I hang up the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I'm freaking out. And I called my mother. I said, guess what? I just talked to Prince. She said, stop lying. I said, no, I just talked to Prince. I said, so now we both freaking out. We screaming. She's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I was like, wait a minute. It's been 20 minutes. He said the flight leave in an hour and they send a car to come pick me up. I'm like, what? She said, you take your curling irons and your hairspray, you get your butt to LAX. She said, when you get to Minnesota, I'm going to send you a Western Union. She said, you go to Target and buy you a duffel bag, put some clothes in it and keep moving. So I literally took the shirt on my back and my curling irons and my hairspray, swooped them into a bag. I was like, and I literally ran outside the door. There was a limousine sitting out there. Took me to LAX. I get on the plane, Prince in the front seat, him and his brother. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. So we fly, we land. I see snow for the first time. I'm like, oh my God. So I see Christmas lights. It's just the most beautiful place I have ever seen. Limo taking me out to Paisley Park. The gates open. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. So we go through the back door. His brother shows me up the stairs. And he takes me to the hair salon. So as I'm walking in there, there's 2 wardrobe rooms. I see the Purple Rain jacket. I see the Raspberry Beret outfit. I'm just like, oh, wow, like this is dope. So I come in the room. I see jewelry on the table. My mother say when you go in somebody else's house, you don't touch nothing, don't belong to you. Everything about life growing up is kicking in right now. So we go in the room. I get set up. I'm like, it's nothing. I done did 1,600 hours. I got this. So we set up the room, and his brother comes in. His brother said, you're going to do my hair first, and then, I'll let you know what happens next. I'm like, okay. Once again, Mr. Goins, my teacher from beauty school, clocks in quality and then quantity. Never sacrifice one for the other. Your first head need to look as good as your last head. I said, okay, got it. I said, so now his brother comes in, a woman comes in, another woman comes in, another woman comes in. I said, oh, I get it. This the audition. All right, then no problem. Let's go. So I'm knocking them down one by one, 5 people. And I'm just like, so by this time, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So his brother said, I'll be back in a minute. So I sit there and I'm just looking around the room like, I see pictures of Prince. I'm like, this is really cool. Like I'm in this man's space. It's all good. He says, so 1 hour go by. I get a little concerned because I know from the bodyguard that this is called the creative battleship. Paisley Park is what they call the creative battleship. Inside Paisley Park, there are movie studios, there's kitchens, there's recording studios. There's all kind of stuff. He got a ping pong room where he can go in there and relax and have fun. It's all kind of stuff, right? So he can go in that building and get lost. Like they bring the food into him. Like he never has to come out. So I'm like 2 hours go by, 2.5 hours. I said, wait a minute. They done forgot about me. I was like, what is going on? So finally his brother stick his head in the door and say, you didn't steal nothing, did you? I said, first of all, I said, my mom ain't raised no fools. I said, second of all, I got to go to the bathroom. Y'all play too much. Oh, shit, you could have went to the bathroom. I said, no, I ain't moving. This ain't my
Right.
house. So his brother showed me where the bathroom is. Okay, for real, he going to be in here. How small in stature this man is. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, he really little. And I was like, he said, hello. And I said, hi. And so he said, yeah, you got the job. He said, but you got to leave them nails at home. He said, I'm tender headed. You can't have that in my head. And back then, that's that Coco SWV when she had them long claw nails. That's what I used to comb hair with my nails. And I said, okay, click, 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 click. He said, oh my God. He just started busting up. He laughing from his gut. He said, you are funny. He was like, all right, check this out. Go back to the hotel. You got a limo outside. He said, go back to the hotel. He said, we're going to leave for Miami in the morning. I said, you're not going to get your hair done? He said, no, don't worry about me. I'll tell you when I'm ready. I said, okay. We get to Miami. He said, Kim, he said, order whatever you want. He said, go around, see the city, do whatever you got to do. I'll call you and let you know when I'm ready. I said, okay, cool. 3 days go by. I'm on the phone talking to my mama. I don't know what's going on. He ain't getting his hair done. She said, who cares? Keep rolling. I said, okay. So we leave there. We go to Atlanta. We in Atlanta. So they going to the recording studio. So they doing their thing. He cutting the album, little did I know. So they doing their thing. He said, Kim, go see the city. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Okay, cool. I get on the tour bus. I'm all around the city. I'm just doing my thing. So mind you, I ain't never been out of California. So I'm really living it up here. So, okay. So we go to Chicago. We go to where else did we go? Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, someplace else. Anyway, brothers finally called me and say, hey, look, we going to New York in the morning. I said, okay, cool. So now I've been to 5 states in less than 2 weeks. I'm not even knowing what's going on. I'm like, this is the life. I was like, I kept calling my mother. I said, who lives like this? And my mother said, you do. And I said, oh, I said, my reality shifted at that very moment. I was like, wow. So we get to New York. His brother say, look, don't spill no water on him. Don't touch his ears. Don't look him in the face. I said, how the hell I'm going to do his hair and can't look him in the face? They was like, they said, don't look him in the face. Don't, what they tell me,
That should be the number one.
we get to I knew to get a private salon. I got the private room. I got the salon, got all my stuff set up. Prince walks in. So he said, look, I want a haircut. We do the consultation. I want color. I want this, that, and the other. I said, okay, great. I said, Kim, don't be nervous. You got this. So we start the service. I'm perming him. I get him to the bowl. I'm rinsing his hair out. I waste water all down his face. I was like, oh my God. I said, because I let the hose go and the hose just went crazy. I was like, oh my God. So he said, okay, look. He said, I understand you're nervous, but I need you to slow down. I was like, I said, okay, I got this. My bad. Sorry, I got this. So put the color on his hair. I put color on his ear. So I go to get the color off his ear. Girl, he jumped. I said, oh, my bad. I said, he was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. So he get the color. I said, okay, don't touch his ears. Got it. So get in the chair. We do the haircut. Got the same cut as me. I got him all down. And curling his hair, boop, hit him in the top of the head with the curling iron. I was like, oh my God, I'm up at the top of the thing, preaching like, he was like, all right, now, I need you to slow down. I said, all right, cool, I got it. I said, Lord have mercy, this man gonna kill me. I said, so when I get through doing his hair, he get up out the chair, he get a quaff on his beard, like, yeah, okay, he checking himself out. He said, all right, he said, your car waiting for you outside. He spun around them little heels and he disappeared. I said, well, I said, well, what just happened? I said, well, what is that? It was okay. It was good. It was. He was like, yeah, it's gonna work. And then he left. And I said, what now? I was like, okay. So he says, I look outside, the limo driver waiting outside. He's like, hey. I was like, I got a limo driver. Okay. So I called my mama like, I just did Prince hair. She was like, girl, no, like what happened? So I told her what happened. And I said, then he just spun around and left. And she says, well, he didn't tell you to go home? I said, no. She said, well, then keep moving. I said, okay. Like, I said, all right. So I packed my stuff up, go back to the hotel. And literally from that point forward, I was with that man for 30 years. And from some of the highest of the highs to some of the lowest of the lows. Hold on one second, brother.
I hope you guys are enjoying all these jewels, all this experience, the love. I hope you guys are just, this was what I wanted to bring when I started, my program, my podcast. So I hope you guys really enjoying this. And it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. But Kim is back, so let's get back to the stories.
Okay. And so I was with that man for some of the highest of the highs and some of the lowest of the lows. It was an amazing journey,
I love it. That was bad. That was dope. You had my stuff, Harry.
Okay, right. That's right. Okay. And that's what I said when I wrote the book. I have a book out called Diamonds and Curls. And so on the part 2 that I'm working on now. Huh?
I got to buy it so you can sign it for me.
Absolutely. I got you.
Put the link in there for people to, the ordering and stuff.
Yes. Let me see here. So they can go to my website, diamondsandcurls.com and grab the book. And if you guys want to send me, I can send it, mail it to me. I'll mail it back to you autographed. So yeah, but no, I got you. Don't worry about it. You just send me your address. I got you.
No, I want to purchase mine.
Well, bless you, brother. Bless you.
We don't play no games.
Okay.
Let's talk about, because I know you hint on something about the previous person that was, the hairstylist, and she got to a point where she felt like, her mental, her life, and the direction that she wanted to go with her life, as far as like being a mom, being there for her husband and stuff like that. Like, did you ever come to a point, like, especially now saying, you told me, you're a parent as well, like doing all this stuff that you was doing and being a part of this man's world and his livelihood and making sure he was okay. How did you make sure you was okay and doing what you needed to do for your health, your mental, and being there for your daughter or your son?
My daughter.
Your daughter.
She came along much, thank God. So, but even when she came along, mom was my rock. So mom literally raised my daughter because I was always on the road. It was some lonely times. Like, it was no IG, it was no Instagram, Facebook back then. So it was literally me and the world, And so I'm this 19-year-old person on the road with one of the greatest entertainers in the world. But when I was in the room by myself, I had to make sure I had my Bible. I had to make sure I had my journal and journal my days. And that literally writing down kept me sane. I met one of my good girlfriends, who is Prince's wardrobe stylist. She actually designed and drew out all the designs that you saw Prince in, and was actually a part of the wardrobe team that created and sold and put that boy together. So it was a huge team of people behind him. But it was always, my spirit, I concern, my mother say my discernment is very high. So I don't deal with a lot of people. I can tell when there's a bad person in my midst that God has given me discernment to be able to be like, get away from that person. Get away from that person. That person means well. And so I drew to Debbie, and Debbie became my dog on the road. So I had her to bounce stories off of, and he made me mad this morning, and he said this to me, and I got in trouble because wasn't no fan on his table. And and so because people to work for this man was so out of the ordinary that I couldn't just call my regular friends and tell them, today I had a bad day because I got cussed out because it wasn't a fan on his table, even though I do cosmetology. So a few times I had to hit him with, I do hair, right? Why you talking to me about a fan? And so he was like, Kim, don't make nobody make you lose your job. Like, so I'm finna go talk to the brother who's in charge of the fans now. So I was like, because if he don't do what he got to do, he making my job harder. So yeah, so it would be just days like that. I'm an avid reader, so I kept spiritual books and positive books around me. everywhere I went, I would take spiritual quotes and I would put on the wall, and that was just bringing up, upbringing from my mom and keeping her close to me. I talked on the phone a lot to my mama while I was gone. I remember one time we went on tour. I was in Japan talking to my mom every day. We talking about the stories. We talking about all this kind of stuff, not realizing, Kim, you are not next door. You are in Japan. Well, I ran that phone bill up $4,000. And when I got off the plane in LA, my mom take the check and sign it over to me. I said, what? He said, take the check and sign it. So when he showed me the phone bill, I said, oh my God. Like my dumb butt calling home and literally ran that phone bill up. That was the biggest learning lesson I think I ever had. I said, okay, Kim, keep your butt off the phone. We're going to do more meditating and praying and doing affirmations. Then we're going to talk to mama. Okay. But yeah, that's what kept me sane, literally, was the reading, and like I said, I would always leave whenever Prince was asleep. I knew his sleep schedule. So I would get on the tour buses, go out on the city. I'll be taking pictures. I call people, I'm the tackiest tourist you ever know. I'm stopping, taking pictures of everything. So, so once Facebook and all this came into play, I was able to actually do videos and show everybody where I was around the world. So that was a beautiful thing. To take them with me, so to speak, because it's a lonely journey. It is. When you on the road, you there by yourself. So your mental got to be strong. This has to be something that you want to do. And you have to want to be in this space, because it's going to be some long, lonely hours. But the reward to me, live music every night, hanging with some of the biggest entertainers in the world, Maceo Parker, Candy Dolfer, Chance Howard, Dougie Fresh. Like, it was some of the most amazing people that would be, I walk on set and never know. Patti LaBelle, that was like Prince's second mama. So she loved on all of us like she loved on Prince. Like, she was so genuine. And it was just, she would pour into our spirits and tell us what thus said the Lord. And like, she cooked for Prince. It was just the most amazing thing. And whatever Prince ate, I ate. And, being I had those rewards. So it was to be, it was good to be around. But I understood what she told me back then. She's like, Kim, it ain't what you think. And like I said, it was some long, lonely hours. You had to do some things you didn't want to do. I was picking up dirty clothes and all this kind of stuff. But to me, that was about being part of the team. And Prince used to say, Kim, if you see a piece of trash on the floor, pick it up. I'd be like, yeah, I got you, boss. So, and I had, when Prince died, I had some people tell me, oh, you were just his hairstylist. Go, you had your 5 minutes of fame. Go sit down. I was like, just his hairstylist? I said, absolutely not. I was his prayer warrior. I was his confidant. I went to Bible study with him. I was, like I said, I was there for some of the highest of the highs and some of the lowest of the lows. When his mother died, I was there. When his father died, I was there. When both his children died, I was there. So just his hairstylist. So I get how it could draw a strain on somebody, who know you better than your hairstylist and your bartender? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I understood perfectly what Tanya said. Like, it would draw on your mental, but you had to be strong. You had to have your prayer game up. You had to be ready, really ready and able. I want some of my homegirls to be like, oh, he talk crazy to you. If I was you, girl, I wouldn't take that. I said, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. I said, now, I'm in Switzerland sitting at the Ice Hotel with Prince, and you are at home on your mama's couch. You wouldn't do what? So please, you're going to endure some things. You're going to deal with some things to be able to have the experiences of a lifetime.
Because we deal, honestly, a lot of people have different worlds and different occupations. So
Right.
what you're dealing with is someone that you like you said, you're around all the time. You got to make sure that they're up the game the same way you got to be up the game. So you're a reflection of them and they're a reflection of you. So it's like, okay, like me going to a regular job, whatever I put into that job and how my boss looks at me or talks to me or whatever I'm bringing to the table, you going to deal with that bullshit over there, or you going to deal with some bullshit over here. It's just which way you going to go and deal with whatever bullshit you going to deal with, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to say, oh, you just a hair. No, we in this industry and from hairstyling to barbering, your
your clientele or whoever's in your chair is going to open up more to you than anybody that's almost in their family sometimes. You don't hear,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, you can't just look at somebody and go, oh, you just a hairstylist, because you don't know what that person might be experiencing or dealing with. And when they sit in your chair, whatever advice or whatever you can share to them can change a lot of reflection on what they're dealing with in the world. Um, I also want to ask you, was it any a point in time where, I know you being around so many different people that, they was like, hey, I want to get Kim to do my hair too. Was it a point where you was able to do that, or Prince was like, nah, you my girl, so you can't go over there and be touching nobody else's hair?
No, I was all in with him. It was him or nothing. And I did everybody on the tour's hair, all the band members, everybody. I did that. But other than that, I was exclusively with him at the time. What's funny is, and one thing that I hate that I didn't do, that I wasn't more talkative. Passing out business cards. I didn't know I could do that, but Prince was so private. I stayed to the back. I was like a child, like they said, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. I honored him because he was so quiet and so reserved. He wasn't in the press, so we weren't in the press. And a good thing too, because it wasn't, what was I going to say? Like I said, social media wasn't big when I first got in with him. So it wasn't something that I could publicize, because back then I would have been, like, I think about all the kids now that have all these numbers and everything like that. Like when Prince died, my number shot up to 100,000 followers, And so, but because nobody knew it was me, they was like, it was you all this time? It was you. Yeah, it was me. So it was just amazing. Like I said, the times, how you have to change with the times, because if I had social media back then, oh, I'd probably be 5 million easy. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because I always wondered, like, if you like dealing with one particular person that's on a certain level, do they allow you to deal with other people in the industry? Allow you, like I wanted to say that, did Michael let you go work on Michael Jackson hair, or or Rick,
Okay.
or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nah, it was all Prince or nothing. He was super selfish. Like, literally, I had to sneak to have my baby. Like, when I got pregnant, he didn't even know I was pregnant. He just thought I was gaining weight, right? Because I was wearing big clothes. And I remember going to the hospital, and because he was so like, it's me. This is my life. You working with me. We rolling. So I went to the hospital, and I had been in the hospital, got sick. I actually, so funny, I broke my leg, right? So I got on the plane to come do his hair. So when I got off the plane and got into the salon, he said, what happened to you? I said, I broke my foot. I was bowling. He said, what? So, of course, we had a good laugh about that. So he says, you can't be coming up here with no cast on your foot. You're going to make people think that I'm a slave driver. Well, you are. I was like, first of all, I said, but then he was like, man, don't be doing that. You could have stayed at home. I was like, nah, I got to come get this bread. I'm casting all. I'm coming to get this bread. So did his hair, got on the plane. My blood pressure went out of control. Had to go into the hospital. So they was like, you're not leaving until you have a baby. I said, oh, hell no, because I'm the breadwinner in my family. So I'm like, okay. I called my mama, like, guess what? I'm in the hospital. So a month go by. So I'm like, oh man, I got to pay my bills. I was like, what's going on? So I called Prince's assistant. I said, her name Kim too. I said, Kim, I said, I know as much as this going to hurt y'all, you got to tell Prince, upset his world, and tell him I need my check. She said, Kim, you got to be kidding me. I said, girl, I'm in the hospital. You better tell this man that I need my check. So I would go 2-3 months. It's nothing for me to not get paid. But I loved it, because when I did get paid, I got a fat check, you see. So I'm just like, tell this man I need my check. And so she's like, oh, Kim, you tripping now. I can't tell. I said, Kim, go in that kitchen, because that's where Prince hung out, and tell him I need my check. So she go in the house, in the place. Prince, Kim need her check. She ain't been paid yet. He said, what's the big deal? What's the problem? They said, well, she in the hospital. What you mean she in the hospital? She having a baby. He like, how that happened? Wait, I mean, when that happened? He was like, he said, said, what you mean she in the hospital having a baby? And they was like, she having a baby. And so I was like, oh my God, it was so crazy. So they said he was mad for 2 weeks. He gave them hell because, you know, I done upset his flow. So they sent the check, thank God. I was able to pay my bills. And so all that got done. And so when I went in, I was having complications. They took me in. He said, my doctor said, I'm not choosing between saving you and saving her. We're going to do both. We're going to save both. So I woke up. When I woke up from anesthesia, there was this huge bouquet of flowers in my room. I said, did somebody die? What happened? What's these flowers for? I said, I mean, it was huge, and it was from Prince. And so I was like, oh, he's like, congratulations on the baby. Yeah, okay. I was like, oh, that's my dog. All right, cool. So get out the hospital. The baby having all kind of complications. You know, it's 3-4 months go by. Little by little, to God be the glory, he bringing her back. My baby was born this size, 1 pound, 5 ounces. But we watched her. We prayed her through. She is a beautiful, beautiful daughter right now. About 3-4 months in, finally Prince called, said, hey, is it cool? Can you come back to work now? I was like, yeah, I got you, boss. I got you. So I tell moms and her other grandmother, her dad's mom, I was like, look, don't y'all leave this side, this baby side. I got to go back to work. So I got to go out there and do his hair. And, we back to getting things on the road. And he's like, I'm about to go. We finna do this tour. You good? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm good. We got this. Right. So, I got my babysitters on deck. We get to finally go back home, get the baby home, get her settled. And, I was back on the road after that. Like, that's the only break for real. After I take it back. When I got married, same thing. I told him I was doing his hair that night, and he said, you want me to come perform at your reception? I was like, hell yeah. He was like, nah, I'm just playing. I said, I can't stand you. I said, now that would have been the dream of all lifetimes. So he's like, but I went to, got on my honeymoon. He called me and he said, Kim, I need you to meet me in New York. Because I kept a backpack, at my front door. I literally take out the dirty clothes, put in the clean clothes, because I knew he would call at any moment. That was my life. Kim, meet me in Dubai. Kim, meet me in Arizona. Kim, meet me in wherever. That's the life that I lived, So he called me the next day after I got married and said, I need you to meet me in New York. I said, no, hold up, man. I said, I'm on my honeymoon. I said, I told you yesterday when I did your hair, I was getting married. He said, yeah, he said, that's cool and everything. He said, but I need my hair done. I said, okay. I said, think fast, Kim, because this only comes around once in a lifetime. Think fast. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do, because I was in Santa Barbara. I said, if you bring me and my husband to New York, then we just spend the rest of our time in New York with you. And he said, yeah, no, I ain't doing that. No, I said, because he's selfish. And I said, wait a minute. I was like, okay. He said, yeah, well, you ain't coming? I said, no, I'm not coming. Because I thought about my daddy said, if you don't stand for this, you're going to fall for anything. So I said, no, I'm going to stand on my ground. No, I'm not coming. He said, yeah, okay. So I got on punishment for about 3 months. I didn't get no phone calls. It went radio silent. I said, oh my God. I said, this sucks. So at this point, I think this was his second wife that was at the reins at this point. She introduced him to her hairstylist. So this dude was charging $5,000 a day, nowhere near the paycheck I was getting. Blow drying the hell out of his hair, tearing his hair up. I'm like, you ain't got that kind of hair. What is you doing? So when his hair started falling out, he called the bodyguard and said, tell Kim, bring everything. I said, that's code for we in trouble. I done did something wrong. So I get on the plane, finally get back to him. Get to his hair. I said, it's all crunchy. I said, well, what happened? He said, oh, I had this dude doing my hair, and he knows, yeah, Kim bringing all the juices and the berries. See, Kim know how to bring it back to life. So did his hair, got him back right again, and I was like, and then we was back friends again. I said, oh, it took your hair to fall out for you to call me back. Okay, playboy. I said, and he started laughing, but it was just, we had a great relationship. Like, he was my brother, and he was, I didn't even look at him as the celebrity. Like, that was my dog. That was my boy. We got along well. It was beautiful.
No, I bet this is crazy. This is I hope you're not telling everything that's in your book, because I definitely want to.
Right. Well, that's part one. Part two is coming. It's gonna be OG too. Yeah, part one, everybody gonna see, so they'll be able to
I
get a
don't,
glimpse into the world
I
of
don't
what
want
was Kim Berry.
everything that's in the book. I want.
Nah.
Yeah.
I broke the book down into 3 parts. So I did 10 years at a time because I didn't want to do no big, thick book and bore the people. So I said, I'm going to break it down. Every book ends on a cliffhanger. So that way it makes you look for part two. Part two going to make you look for part three. So it's beautiful.
It's funny though, because when I hear the stories of I don't know them personally, but now hearing the story of Prince, seeing what you hear about, Kanye, I'm a June baby. I'm on the 8th. And then, I know Prince was a Gemini baby, but it's damn, I didn't know there was we are, when we get connected to someone very personally, it's hard to distract or pull ourselves away from someone that we really feel connected to. And we can be manipulative, or we can be a little conniving sometimes, but it's all in general love sometimes, especially when we really care about somebody. So to hear the story and the stuff that you and him went through, but it's still love and passion, and it's a brother and a sister. You're gonna have your ups and downs with somebody, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be there and you're gonna support that person. And that's what I get from you when you share these stories, that I just had crazy moments with my brother.
Absolutely. That's my boy. And everybody like, oh, what was he like? Was he so great? Was he nice? Was he sweet? I was like, yeah, he was all that, but he had asshole moments too, and I said, but he put his pants on one leg at a time. I said, but he was the greatest entertainer in the world. He was loving. He was kind. He was generous. Like, people don't know some days that we would, pull up to certain cities, like what was their Skid Row, and he would hand me and the bodyguard stacks of $100 bills, and we would get off the bus and pass out $100 bills, like, to all the homeless people. And that's the Prince that nobody knows about. That's the Prince that I'm talking about in my book. That kind, general, that sweethearted man. I'm talking about the man Prince, the brother, the uncle, the man of God, because he was a praying man. I'm telling people about that side of Prince. We're not, in my book, we're not talking about the rock star. We're talking about the man whose feet was level, flat on the ground, who loved, who cried, who lived a life that was unfathomable to most people, that did the damn thing. It was an amazing journey. And I bless God that God chose me to walk alongside this man. Like, I tell everybody, this little girl from the hood did good. You know what I'm saying? And so working with him has opened doors to go, and like Cat Williams is one of my clients. DJ Quick is one of my clients. I said, all I missed is James Brown. I said, I would have had the plethora of all press and curls. You know what I'm saying? So I said, but it has been just amazing to see that man grow, to watch his business techniques, to watch him outsmart every record company that he ever worked for. They hated his guts, but they couldn't stop him. The boy was unstoppable. I remember one time he came in the room, Kim, he said, guess what? I just released my album in the Sunday newspaper. And I said, what? He said, I'm already platinum. I was like, what? Like, he outsmarted the record companies every chance he got, and they couldn't stand him. And it was just the most amazing thing. Like, Warner Brothers owned his music because they owned the name Prince. That's why he changed his name to the symbol. But guess what? Prince owned the distribution rights, so they still had to pay him to put the album out. Like, he was so bomb. And just to see him work was just the most amazing thing in the world. It was amazing. And like I said, so it allowed me to grow, and now that I'm a businesswoman, to be able to use some of those same techniques, and his love for one another, to just be charitable all around the world. That gives my heart that oh, we goodness, I call it, than to give to people and just be there for people. And he knew that he was a vessel that brought to bring love and light into the world. He told me that he knew that he was being downloaded by God to bring his music, love, and light into the world. And he said that the moment that the music stopped, that he would cease to exist. And I was able to be a part of every step of that journey, that I walked alongside him. And it was so funny, all the women that came into his life would always try to get rid of me. And I'd be like, why are you trying to get rid of me? I'm just the hairstylist, right? But they knew that I had a part of his world. I had a part of his heart, that I was there. We cracked jokes together. We bagged on each other's mamas. We was literally like brother and sister. That was my dog. Yeah. And nobody could shake it or break it. And they did not understand. But I tell people, they say, how you think you was around him for so long? I say that it was the God in me that saw the God in him, and he needed that around him. He had enough yes men to do, his bidding. But if he asked me, Kim, you like this song? I hear sometimes I'm like, nah, I ain't really into it. There's certain songs he'll play, and then my head will be, he'll be like, oh, your head bobbing. That's a hit. I'll be like, okay. So it was just the dopest thing. So I had his ear, and more than that, like I said, we prayed together. So we were spiritually connected, and it was an experience to be around him, and nobody in the world can take that from me. That's the beautiful part about it. So yeah, it was just a dope experience.
I'm loving all of it, but what I love the most, what you said was very powerful, that you said that being around him and seeing how business savvy he was and how he would structure everything to accommodate him in the long run, when it was so many doors that was trying to like close on him, but he already knew how to, hey, this door closed, I'm gonna kick this door in, I'm gonna break down this wall. A lot of in our Black community is learning from someone that is able to show us the business side and keep us moving forward. And I love that you was around him all these years, and he told you every business that he was going to or what he was dealing with, and he was trying to find ways to maneuver out of that and keep pushing himself forward, that you was able to see that now whatever you got going on, like your book or whatever other accolades that you have going on, that is going to make it more easier for you to find your doors, to open more doors for yourself.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, everything he did, he would always ask everybody in the camp, what can we do to make the community better? Like he was able to bless me. My church wanted to do a student center. So he gave me $30,000 to buy them computers, everything that they needed to put this space together. Like he was always for the children. Everything that he did was about giving. He's like, what can we do to make the community better? A lot of people don't know, Black Lives Matter. Prince gave that young lady $4.5 million to start Black Lives Matter. Like, he was like anything to push the culture forward. He was into coding. He was into music. He said, Kim, put your daughter in music lessons. He said it's going to advance her mathematics skills. It's going to make her better as a human being. And he wasn't lying. My daughter plays the guitar now, because of Prince. And so it's just amazing. Like, he was just so dope, but he was anything that had to do with children, making sure that the children learn faster, better, greater, whatever. That dude was like, what can we do? Everybody that was around us, he was like, what can we do to start a business? So he opened up 2 salons for me. Like, what can we do to, he was always about making sure everybody around him was straight. Like, and it was just amazing, like I said, to see him work. And, he was pouring into us at the same time. We were learning from him, but he wasn't scared to be the teacher, and he wasn't scared to be the student. And so we would go through Bible study, and we'll battle on Bible scriptures and stuff. And he'll say, when I beat him on the scripture, he'd be like, Kim, like, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, you be back tomorrow. I'm going to call my pastor and get another scripture for you. So it was just an amazing experience, but he wasn't scared to learn. At the same token, he wasn't, afraid, that he knew that he was a boss, and he walked in it.
Well, I mean, he knew he was dealing with a boss himself, so he, being around you and
Absolutely.
what you was bringing and how you maneuver and how you move, like yes, he couldn't let you go. He was looking in the mirror and seeing himself all over again. So I can
Absolutely. And little did I know, because everybody around him, he picked from obscurity, from the drummers to his women, his hairstylists. Like nobody knew who they got with Prince. Afterwards, you became famous, And I remember him telling me one time, yeah, Kim, by Monopoly, use his name to put me indoors to get me to the next level, because no one can take that from me, that I am Princess Hairstylist. It was Earl, it was Tanya, then it was me. The baton was handed to me. There were other hairstylists that came and went, but Kim was the longevity. Kim was the one that stayed the longest. So people can, I even brought in a couple hairstylists that, were able to touch his hair. And, but they knew that they were there in place of me. And once that assignment, when my father died, I had to bring in my homegirl Brownie. When I had to go open my salon, Prince was like, it's taking too long. Go home and open the salon and bring me somebody out here that can stand in your place. And so I brought in my homegirl Tracia at the time. So those two were able to say that they worked for Prince. You know what I'm saying? But in the long run, the longevity, it was Kim Berry. I was Prince's hairstylist. So now I get to monopolize on that and be great because of who I worked for, And so I get it now. I didn't get it when he told me. And he was like, by virtue of who I am, now you have the keys to the city. Now you can charge what you want. Now you can get what you want. He said, because of who I am. So nobody can take that from me. I was scared to tell people who I was and who I worked for. And people were like, girl, you better stand on your word. You better go be great. You better use that information. And I was like, now I get it. I said, but everything happens when the student is ready, the teacher will answer. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm getting ready to teach a master class on how to get into the entertainment industry. And that my master class is called The Journey of a Lifetime. So you guys get ready for that and stay tuned to both websites I put in there on the chat. So go to those websites, stay tuned, because now The Journey of a Lifetime master class is on its way.
write it down again if they miss it, because they probably
Oh,
have
yeah. Absolutely.
I'm loving this. This is amazing. You came and you delivered.
Okay. I'm enjoying myself. I get to running my mouth about Prince. And I tell people I have stories that I can tell my children's children. It's going to be an amazing ride, just coming up with the books, because the books are also a grieving process for me. To be able to go through, as I wrote each chapter, it was just amazing. I was able to grieve and cry my way through it. I tell people I cried, like literally, I cried till my soul opened up, because I really miss that dude. That was like the journey of a lifetime. Like nobody was able to experience what I've experienced. So it's just amazing to be a part of it. Let me see here. Yeah, so now I'll be able to tell the story, over and over again. And then also, my motivational speaking tour. So the book tour and the motivational tour will go hand in hand. So that's, I run my mouth so much. I said, you better use this big mouth for something. I said, so I'm going to be able to go, and young women are my passion. So I want to be able to pour into young people in general. I tell people that my classes are for, like, the people coming up behind me, young hairstylists, young barbers, whoever I can pour into. I said, but I find older people being there and other people being a part of my classes, and they're like, I don't even do hair, but what you're saying it motivated me, that it's making me want to go forward and making me want to, move into my destiny and do what I got to do. And I said, well, to God be the glory. Then that's what it's about.
As long as you touching them in a way that makes them feel like they're learning and they pushing forward, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
You like I always say, and I'm loving it. this is about you. We want to make sure that everybody knows, and that, yes, it lies in you working and having a relationship with someone that's truly amazing, but you're amazing as well. So I don't want to, seem like this is all about that journey. It's all about your journey and what you have brought to the table, how you're manifesting your journey to be where it is today. And yes, you had to, not had to, but you was able to connect with someone that was so amazing and awesome to a lot of people that love music and Prince. But you're an amazing person as well. So I don't want nobody to feel like this is all about Prince. No, we're talking about Kim Berry and all the stuff that she's doing and who she is. Besides, because I believe from what I was seeing, and you can tell me more about it. You've been able to work on a lot of amazing platforms as far as TV shows, TV series, and stuff as well. You want to speak on that?
Absolutely. I was able I was on Instagram one day, and my homegirl Carla Farmer, I'm watching her page, and I see I'm packing up 35 suitcases from Coming to America, wigs and hair pieces, and I was like, oh my God! I said, let me hit her. I didn't know her at the time. I said, let me hit her. I said, and just see if she can get me in the union or tell me which way to go. So I hit her up and I said, hey, my name is Kim Berry. I work for Prince. I said, it's my dream, my desire to be a part of the union. In beauty school, my teacher used to tell me all the time, use your license for everything you can get out of it. Don't just be a salon owner. Don't just stand behind that chair. He said, you can go on cruises and work on cruises and travel the world. You can go into entertainment. He said, you can work on the news. You can work for plays. You can work on Broadway. He's like, there's so many things. Don't just limit yourself and use your license for everything you can get out of it. And I called her. I said, hey, so the union was one of those things that he talked about. So, and matter of fact, our school is known for having the most celebrity hairstylists and makeup artists. He produced more than any other school in California. And so, what I was getting ready to say. Oh, so I see her page. I said, hey, can you help me? My name is Kim Berry. I said, I work for Prince. I said, I do, cuts. I do wigs. I do da-da-da. I'm just running down my thing. And she said, I know exactly who you are, Kim Berry. And I said, what? And I said, okay. I'm like, am I getting pumped? And she said, I've been a fan of yours for quite some time. I said, you've been a fan of mine because I know who she is being in the industry. And I said, you've been a fan of mine. And I was like, what is this about? And so she said, matter of fact, I just prayed a prayer and I said, God, if there's anything I can do in this world to bless you, I love Prince. She said, then you let me know. And she said, I was the next call that she got. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was just amazing, and so she said, do me a favor, call the union office. So I called the union office. I talked to them. I'm like, hey, my name is Kim. I said, Carter told me to call. And so we went through the process. Come to find out, the guy at the desk, he's a Cat Williams fan lover. So I told him I work for Cat Williams. It turned into a 20-minute interview about Cat Williams. I was like, oh my God. I said, okay, Randy, focus. And so we get back to the union conversation. I said, what do I need to do? I just want to be down. He said, okay. He said, because of all your work in the industry, we can use that as your, working. He said, we gonna put you down. He said, I'm gonna put you on the roster. He said, but you gotta know it's 750 people in front of you. They have to go, if they try to work with you, they gotta go through all 750 people before they come to you. I said, I don't care. I just want to be down. I said, I'll do whatever. He said, you gotta bring me 30 union days before I can sign you into the union. I said, okay, great. So I'm on the roster. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. So I tell people, it's something about the favor of God when it's on your life. When the favor of God is on your life, there's nothing that no one can do to stop you. That was 9 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock that evening, I had 5 phone calls put into me saying, I heard you were on the roster. I want you on my team. I'm like, what? I was like, oh my God. So now I call the union office and I tell him, Randy, I got 5 people that want me to work on their show. He said, yeah, I know. He said, I knew when I put you on the roster that this was going to happen. They was going to go around everybody and come to you. I said, oh my God. I was like, what am I going to do? He said, I guess now you get to choose. I said, what? And so he was like, yeah. So literally my homegirl Yvette, who I actually helped train to know how to do hair, we separated. When I got the job going to do Prince, she went into the union. So she been in the union working, doing her thing. She called, she said, look, I got final season of Insecure. You want to come work with me? I'm like, hell yeah. So I wound up getting on Insecure and doing my days. I did that. I did another show called Hunters. I did another show called, it was something, I was working on 3 shows at one time. So whenever I had an off day on I was on Hunters. Whenever I had an off day on Hunters, I was on another show. And I was literally boom, 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 every day, everywhere. I got my days so fast. Like with most people, if you would have took a day off, no, Kim was working. And so my girl Yvette told me, said, Kim, you burning the candle at both ends. You're doing too much. You're going to burn yourself out. I said, I got to get these 30 days. I got to get these 30 days. And I got my 30 days and was able to be signed into the union. And it has been an amazing roller coaster. I've been in the union now almost 3 years now because of the strike. 9 months we've been sitting on hold. But for the last 2 years before that, it was an amazing ride. Like I did Grey's Anatomy. I was one of the leads on Snowfall. The last season of Snowfall, those are my hairstyles. And so, and I worked under Andrea. She was going to another show, and she was able to come back, and then finish the season with her, Andrea Joseph. And so, I just thank all the people that were above me, Carla Farmer, Lily Fearson, what's my boy name? Lord, I'm drawing a blank because I'm trying to call his name, but just all the big dogs that helped me get my days. Yvette Shelton, like I said, was who brought me on Insecure, and it was just Cheyenne Banks and just everybody who helped me. Was just an amazing journey. I worked on all the shows that I love. Grey's Anatomy, that was dope being on Grey's Anatomy. So I'm such a fan walking onto set, and when I'm on set and walking on the studio sets, I'm walking around looking up and looking around because I can't believe that something that I dreamed about, something that was so untouchable, what I thought I'm literally on Warner Brothers lot. I'm literally standing on Sony Pictures movie studios. Like I am in awe and just the biggest kid. I'm like a kid in a candy store, just trying to soak it all in. And everybody I talk to, from the grips to the people who set dress, put the stuff on set. And I'm just talking to them like, how did you do it? What's going on? How can, if I want to change, can I change lanes? And like, it's so many avenues, just in the hair game. Not only just being a hairstylist, you can work on Disney, you can work on Broadway, you can work on in KTLA, like doing that newscaster's hair. All of these different avenues are inside the union, which I didn't even know. I thought, it was just movies or just television. No, you can do just kids hair, or if you choose to, or if you want to do just newscasters, you can do that. And it's just so many avenues. It's just where you want to be. Some people, I like to get on one show and be still. Like I'm a 9-month girl. Some shows shoot for 9 months at a time. I just like being still and knowing my stuff is in one place. I ain't got to keep moving. Some people, what we call day checkers. That's what I was doing all, throughout these last 2 years. And you work on different sets. Yeah, every day you go to a new set. Now that's amazing because you meet new people. You getting out there. You talking to different people and different producers and different line directors. So all these people are people who can connect you to your next job. So it's always just amazing just to keep moving and keep talking to people. Like I said, when I was working for Prince, I stayed in the back and I was quiet. So I missed a lot of opportunities of where I could have got, further along in the entertainment industry. But once again, I say what God has for you is for you. And when it's your turn, that the doors are going to open, and not even the gates of hell can keep you from it. So you just got to stay grinding and stay motivated and stay positive and just do the damn thing and just stay with a spirit of expectation. And God is going to fill every one of them. I have a journal that I write my affirmations down in, and I say, I am one of the greatest hairstylist in the entertainment industry. I'm the most sought after. I'm the most collaborated with. I'm the most award-winning international hairstylist. I have been all over the world, but I'm going to go all over the world again. Part 2 of my book is going to take me all over the world. You know, and I'm just looking to do great things. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say, oh, don't tell people what you're doing. I'm not that person. I'm going to tell everybody because I'm going to share. It's so many ideas that's dead and in the grave. Great ideas and opportunities that people have lost out on. You didn't share with somebody. So your blessing, you got to be great. Go be great and do what God tells you to do, because your blessing, somebody else is dependent upon you making it. So I got to make it so that I can bless somebody else so they can jump over the fence. Because I said, I'm like Frogger. I'm pulling everybody over my shoulder. Come on, the door's open. Come on in. So yeah, I'm doing what needs to be done and what God told me to do. I'm going to share. And the sharing, when you cast your bread out on the water, God is going to bring it back to you. That's what the waves do. They go out, they come back, they go out. So I'm never going to be without. I have not went one day without eating. God is so amazing, and he just continues to bless me. I have no qualms about it. When people ask me, that's why I said I want to do this class so that I can share now with 100 people at a time or 1,000 people at a time. Because now the internet has made it where you're easily accessible, where you can touch and talk to people all over the world. I have one of my friends that lives in Israel. God bless her right now, because Israel is going through it. But I talk to her on a regular basis, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to somebody in Israel. Like, the internet just connects you to so many people, but I do not mind sharing my words, my blessings, my affirmations. I'm about it. When like they say that song, I'm about it, I'm about it. Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where to go next with this. Like you did, man. This is truly. I always want to leave my guests with this, and yeah, I mean, you spoke on it 100 times already, but law of attraction. How is that to this day? You use that to push forward. I mean, like I said, you already been sharing it, but I always want to leave my guests with, how does law of attraction work for you, and how does that affect your everyday life? And
like this, one of my affirmations, I said, I'm going to be the first billionaire in my family, but I won't be the last. That's what I write that down every day, 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night before I go to sleep. When you do that, it actually becomes a part of your subconscious, and you start to live out the very things that you ask God for. You have to let God know. God's downloading you the information, and you have to literally speak it out into the world so that the angels can grab it now and bring it forward to you. That's what the law of attraction is. That they actually, people like when they sing the book, The Secret. The secret is that they know that the Bible is real. You understand me? That they use the very tactics that the Bible has already put. You speak it out into existence. God is giving you the information. Like I said, Prince knew that he was downloaded by God to bring light and love into the world, that it is up to you to now use the information that God is downloading you with and push it out into the world. And so that's what you have to do. You have to literally give it back. So I ain't scared to give God his 10th so that God can keep giving me 90. I'm gonna give God his so God can keep giving me his 90. It's just gonna keep coming back to you. You got to give it out so that God can keep bringing it back to you. Whether that be speaking engagements, whether that be traveling around the world, whether that be writing another best-selling book. I am a New York Times best-selling author. I am going to speak into my life what I want, because that's what God said.
Talk that talk.
That part. So I'm just excited about life, and I'm like, God is not through with me yet. That's why I'm just so excited that it's going to continue to keep coming. And I can't wait. Like I said, my teacher used to tell me all the time, when you get tired of doing what you do, teach. Now pour into others. And so that's what I'm going to do. That's another avenue of what I'm going to do. It's my journey of a lifetime masterclass. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour into others of what I've already had a blessing to be able to achieve. Yesterday, I actually did a photo shoot on the Miss Black California pageant. I worked on all the queens from Miss Black California pageant. That was just amazing. That was so beautiful to see these young Black women and what they're going to speak about and what they're going. Now they can tell people that they met me. So now it's like we double teaming the world now. I met them and they met me. So it's just been beautiful. I'm just excited. Like I said, what God keeps bringing into my life, and being a part, just meeting you, brother, and being able to talk to you. I think it's a blessing that, this nothing happens on accident. I said I was going to get through this interview without crying, but I'm going to cry. I'm just so excited about God and what he does for me. And I'm just like, I count it all joy. I count it all joy. And I don't take nothing for granted. Not one bit. I don't take it for granted.
I love you, Kim. Yeah, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I love you from the first day I met you. I felt your spirit. I felt who you are and who you stand to be. And to have this opportunity, you bless me more than anything. And to hear your story, to hear your journey, hear that you're from England like myself. So we gonna lead. We gonna keep pushing. We gonna keep developing who we are, but also setting the standard. And that's what you represent, setting the standard for greatness. And I'm truly, truly thankful, because you could have been anywhere in the world today, but you decided to jump on here and be with me. So forward to still being around you, learning as much as I can. I'm a sponge, so I'm gonna be calling you. I'm gonna be it won't each other. Like you said, I'm gonna be zoomed in, because this is what I want. And I have different areas of stuff that I work and build. I'm a designer. I make clothes. I always wanted to be in broadcasting. Now I have the opportunity to sit on here and speak to so many amazing people like yourself. It took a minute, but like you said, when God is ready for you, and you be like, man, when is this gonna happen? When is this gonna take place? Why am I so far behind when I feel like I should be so far ahead? When God is ready to put whatever he's ready to put in front of you, he's gonna put it, because he feels like you're ready. And
Absolutely.
like through COVID, when COVID hit, and I was trying to figure out how to, connect with my peers in school. This is where this came from. And now I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. You?
Absolutely.
Like what? And hearing your story, hearing your journey, and hearing who you are and what you build, and who you want the world to know, about that person. Not just about him being an entertainer, but about him being a leader, about him being a spiritual person, about him being a supporter of his people. And you like I said, you see that all in you. And I'm just full with joy right now. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that tuned in, that sat and listened to us just talk, hear the journey, hear the religion, because we had some religion going on today.
Hey, the words say where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am also. So we done been to church.
Yeah, we brought them to church today.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold too much of your time. I just want to say thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be blessed. Everybody, thank you. Go to my website, www.thekimberry.com. I said, please be patient with me, because God is not through with me yet.
100%. And I'm getting my buggy. You gonna sign it.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Hope you had an enjoyable time. Sunday's not over, so go have your Sunday fun day.
Amen.
All right, amen. Bye.
Bye-bye.